Hello, everyone. Long story short, we were talking about the ranging system with binoculars in Discord earlier, and I got curious and started trying out a bunch of shit and found out that the real-world calculations for ranging using mils does not work in ArmA for whatever reason. So, with that understood, I started creating my own system. So, I'm going to go over that system here in this video. So, starting off, a couple of things we should all understand is the system that I'm about to show you takes some things into consideration and some givens. So, first of all, between 100 meters and 300 meters, most people can do that without needing some sort of system for it. But just in case you do, I did find some interesting stuff. So, right here, you're looking at 100 meters through the binoculars. The 1 mil hash mark basically lands on the chest. And then moving on to 150 meters, the 0.5 mil hash mark sits at the waistline at 150. At 200, that same hash sits at his chest. At 250, once again, that same hash line at 0.5 mils sits at his head. So, let's go over that again. 150 meters, waistline, 200 chest, 250 face, head. So, moving on to 300. Between 300 and 700, I actually have a really crude system of calculating. So, we're going to go over that right here. I'm going to try to put some stuff on the screen to explain the formula a little bit easier and kind of do a reference as we go. But essentially what it is, you're going to place this crosshair, this horizontal line here, you're going to place it at the bottom of the boots of the enemy. This only works with characters, men. It doesn't work with vehicles or anything else. This will only work with men that are standing up. It won't work in prone, obviously, crouched, or anything else. This system is solely designed for characters in ArmA standing straight up. So with that out of the way, essentially what you're going to do, place this at their boots, and then read up for distance. So this is 0, this line here. This is 0.5 mils, and this is 1.0 mils. So everything is going to take place between 0 and 0.5. So, all right, so with a quick little assumption here that this guy is sitting roughly at 0.5, it's not perfect, but we'll make that assumption as that's kind of what this is based on. So you do 150 divided by the target height in mils. So in this case, this guy, we're making the presumption that he is at a half mil reading, right? So this is 0.5. So 150 divided by 0.5 equals 300. That answer is your distance right here. So 300 meters. Okay, moving on. Another example is 400 meters. We're looking at this guy. We've got it at his boots. We're reading up. I think he's about 0.4 mils. He's 80% of the way there. This is how I read this. This is exactly the same as I do when I'm reading my 8-digit grids. Is I make a guesstimation based on what percentage I think between these two lines, right? I think this guy's roughly 80%. So he's at a 0.4 mil. So we do the formula again. 150 divided by 0.4 equals 375. So something else to keep in mind with this formula is it's not going to always fit perfectly, and it's not always going to be precise. But when you come up, like when you're, like for instance, we're at 400 and our calc gives us 375. Okay, we're off by 25 meters. If you're doing this, if you're shooting, if you're infantry, then just dope your gun up to 400 meters on the ranging, and then you'll be good to go. Just basically round to the nearest whole value. All right, moving on. 500. So 500 is an interesting distance. This is what it looks like. I'm saying this is a 0.30 mil. The reason I know this is because I actually took the screenshot of the crosshairs when I was developing the system, and I took a measurement of these hash marks. So these ones that are going up and down on this horizontal crosshair line, these hash marks are a 0.3 mil. I measured it in Photoshop, and that's what they come out to. So roughly, as you can see, this guy doesn't fit it perfectly, but I mean, it's pretty damn close. If the target of the man is standing up and he fits pretty good with this line here, you can say he's 500. That also gave me a kind of a reference for the calc system. So this is 0.30. So once again, plug it into the formula. 150 divided by 0.3 equals 500 meters. Okay, moving on. 600 meters. I'm saying he's about halfway between the bottom crosshair line here and the first half hash mark for the mil. So that's a 0.25 mil reading. So once again, plug it in the formula and you'll come up with 600 meters. This guy is at 600 meters. So as you can see, the formula works pretty good. It's not perfect. Obviously, everything is tested in a very clean environment in the virtual reality map and everything, but this is the best I can come up with. 700 meters, this is about the extent of what you're going to be able to do and get anything accurate. So at 700 meters, I'm roughly saying this guy is at a 0.2 mil reading, right? So if you plug that in, you're going to come up with 750 meters. Now that's a little over, but it's not super far off, right? And you could kind of remember that, you know, if you stick with the formula and you start practicing a lot, you'll kind of remember, okay, when I read out, you know, when I'm coming up with 700 meters, 750 meters, I should probably guesstimate, you know, maybe just call it even at 25 meters in, you know, and just make up a little bit of that error. But as you'll see next, this is about as far as you can go. So at 800 meters, things get so, your LODs and everything start becoming so low quality and stuff, you're going to really have a hard time doing this calc anymore. So, but here it is, taking the assumption that we had before, that I had calculated this line here to be 0.30 mils, right? If you take that line, cut it in half, as we have here with this main crosshair line, right? If you cut it in half, that means from here to the top is 0.15 mils. Also, you can see that guy all happens to be pretty close, right? It's hitting about his chin level there. If you plug this in at a 150 divided by 0.15, you're gonna get 1,000 meters. So you can see you're gonna be way off if you try to calculate this distance, but you'll know, hey, I'm at 800 meters because this guy's, you know, he's about this tall. You know, it's kind of one of those tricks. And then beyond that, I mean, if you're needing to calc beyond that, then you're just not gonna be able to do it, in my opinion. But that's kind of the system. It's crude, but it's better than what we have right now, which what we have right now is nothing. There is no system that works with ArmA. I created the system. I basically sat here for about 2.5 hours and started doing a whole bunch of testing and just all different kinds of shit, and this is what I came up with. So I'll dump all these screenshots somewhere where you can download them and reference it yourself, and just let me know if you have any questions.